problem, when you multiply fractions, so this is more than one fraction, we think of that as finding part of a part. Because the fraction's a part, and you're finding part of a part. So up here, that's what you should have is part of a part, and I'm going to show you why that is. Part of a part. So if you look at your picture to the right of the paper, it looks kind of like mine, but I don't know if you can see the divided line there. Mine didn't show up very well. You see that? Okay. So, Cameron, why don't you read for me the example?
Ryder and Judah looked at a brownie booth at a school fair. Sometimes they have to find a fractional part of another fraction. For example, a customer might ask to purchase 1/3 of the brownies in a pan that is 2/3 full. How much is 1/3 of 2/3?
Okay, so when we look at the picture, the customer might ask to purchase 1/3 of the brownies of a pan that's 2/3 full. So over to the right here, this is the brownie pan that's 2/3 full. Because that part's gone. 1/3 is already gone. You see that? So that's the important part of the reading. And the second part of the reading is this person, Ryder and Judah, they want to purchase a third of what's left. So one way to think of that in a number sentence is to say they want 1/3 of 2/3, and the word of we transfer in math to be a multiply. So when you see that, you should be thinking multiply. But on your picture, one really good strategy is to take your picture and do horizontal lines for part of the problem and vertical lines for the other problem, the other part of the problem. So, Lauren, how many vertical lines do you think I would need to put into my picture to show that I'm going to purchase a third of what's left? So I'm going to draw this way. I want a third of what's left. Yeah, I'm going to divide it into two more vertical lines here because I'm taking that brown part and I'm chopping it into 3 sections. Can you see? That's a section, and that's a section. And I want 1/3. Or Ryder and Judah want 1/3. So they're purchasing 2 squares, 2 little brownies. Do you see that? Because they're taking a third of the 2/3. So we would say in that brownie pan, how many parts are there, Lennon, altogether?
There is 6 altogether.
No, like in the whole pan, how many little sections?
9.
There's 9 sections, and how many parts of those 9 sections are Ryder and Judah getting?
So they're going to keep 4 of the little squares, and the customer is going to get 2 of them.
Right. So Ryder and Judah are going to get 2 of the 9 squares. And so if you look at this, if I move all of this over where there's a little more room, oh, the smart word. So if I just move that over here, what's the relationship, Lily? H, like 3 and 3, and the number 9. How do you get that? Yeah, if I multiply the denominators, I get that, and if I multiply the numerators, I get the 2.
That's how I do it.
So that's the algorithm or the strategy is we can use the picture to find the answer, but we also can use the algorithm, which means the rule. That's what
What was the top one?
So the rule is to multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. And so the final answer is Ryder and Judah, or like Lola's saying, the customers get 2/9 of the pan. I didn't hear the question. Who asked the question?
I said what? So you do multiply on top and bottom?
Right. And we're going to just do one more example.
I heard division. I was like, what?
So let's just look at the next example. Miss Carol wants to buy 3/4 of a brownie pan that's 1/3 full. So what's the picture showing right here, Paul? Which part of that problem?
It's showing, most of that's,
What fraction is the picture showing? It's showing the 1/3 part, right? So when you do the guided reading, Miss Carol wants to buy 3/4 of a brownie pan that is 1/3 full. The 1/3 is shown, and then Lily P, I'm going to use vertical lines to show how to take 3/4 of 1/3. So I'm going to make my lines go in the other direction. How many lines do I need?
3.
Yeah, because I'm going to divide it into fourths. So usually people, when they divide into fourths, first divide into half, and then divide the halves in half. So Benny, altogether now, how many sections are there in the whole pan?
12.
There's 12 sections, right? And Miss Carol wants to buy 3/4 of the 1/3, 3/4 of the brownies that are there. So how many brownie pieces is she going to get, Tatum?
She is going to get 4.
No, because 4 is what was there, and she's going to buy 3/4 of what was there.
So she's going to get 3.
She's going to get 3. She's going to get this, this, and this, because she's going to get the 3/4 of the 1/3. Good. And so a number sentence for that, let's see, Sophie, what would the number sentence be?
3/4 times 1/3.
Yeah, 3/4 times 1/3, because remember that times means of. 3/4 of 1/3, and the equals means is. 3/4 of 1/3 is, and there's, how many pieces did she get? Out of how many? 12. And if you look at the rule, the picture shows 3 out of 12, but the rule says multiply the denominators, and 4 times 3 is 12, and 1 times 3 is 3. So can I simplify that, Audrey?
Yeah, you can simplify it. But 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. So it goes in 4 times.
Yes. So it'd be 1/4, right? So the final answer is she gets 1/4.
Would either answer work?
Either answer is mathematically correct, and I will keep reminding you to simplify. So 1/4 is the most simplified.
So you prefer?
In this case, I prefer simplified, and usually on a test I remind you. And if I don't remind you, I take both, because sometimes there are times where unsimplified is a more meaningful answer. Okay, so I want you guys to do the next one.